Hey YouTube, so this video is not really a guide. It's not really a fun like all motivation fucking I am the storm approaching like fun shit. It's a reality check. So I know a lot of people are pulling for Frigg. She's a badass character. Don't get me wrong. I support pulling for Frigg because I fucking love Frigg. However, as a Frigg main, as a person who's been planning frost teams, I've used frost teams this whole time. I just had to diverge and use other weapons to clear like bygone and stuff because frost did not have an AoE unit until Frigg, so it wasn't very viable. And I push for rankings. So from coming from my perspective, I push rankings. Like I care about my bygone rank. I'm ranked 12 on the server. I play PvP, and I'll probably use her gear set as an example, but they were tied for first, but the other dude climbed while she was asleep. But rank 2 is also in our guild, so I also got to deal with her, and then I got to deal with, where is he, Strudel, it's also in our guild, he's in the top. So I can't look weak. So I got to care about all the stats, I got to care about numbers, I got to care about damage, I got to care about ranking. So I care a lot about like how well I build my teams, how much damage I do. Now, if you play like I like to just collect characters, I just like to play for fun. I don't care about rankings. I'll clear bygone eventually as I progressively get stronger as daily cap raises and stuff, just for naturally play the game. And not trying to force that damage. That's fine. Pull for Frigg if you want. This warning is for all the dudes who are playing as free-to-plays, trying to fight against whales, trying to keep up with whales. This is for you, and this is a reality check and a warning. If you're a free-to-play, getting standard banners to C6 is surprisingly probably possible. I know Holiest played free-to-play on CN, and I don't remember exactly, but most of the standard banners were C2 or C3, and I know he was able to get a king to C6. But keep in mind, that is including like more explorations that we don't have right now, like 2.0, artificial islands, stuff like that. So, yes, you'll probably be able to get standard banners okay. However, it will be I don't care how lucky you are, it'll be very hard if you pull on every limited banner to get a full team. And yes, individuals out there like watching the video be like, oh, but I get super lucky and I always land the pulls in the first 10 pull. That's cool, dude. I'm happy for you. However, for the guys out there that aren't as lucky and who don't like to gamble and stuff, please look up leaks. I made a leak video, but I wasn't very accurate. I did have in the description of that video like showcases and stuff. Please plan out your teams, plan out your summons. Because Frigg doesn't really work with other teams. And this is where I'll start getting to, I am a Frigg main, keep in mind. I'm not trying to bash on Frigg. I'm just trying to tell you the negatives, so that way you know. From a Frigg main, I'm telling you the negatives of why you shouldn't pull for Frigg, and things to consider. And if none of this matters for you, pull for Frigg. If you're going for Frost team and like the whole thing, pull for Frigg. If you like listening to Bury the Light, the I Am the Storm song, and you like Devil May Cry and Virgil, pull for Frigg. If you think she has nice boobs, pull for Frigg. However, if you want to know about the numbers and what she does for teams and stuff, this is what we're about to go through. Okay, so point number 1. And this is going to be the most tragic point. I should probably put this at the end, but I'll go ahead and get this out of the way. This is the one that'll probably give me some backlash, and people might get mad at me for saying this. Frigg is not the main DPS on the team. And I'll get more into detail, and I'll cover more stuff. So please watch the whole video before you like try to argue this. Frigg is not the main DPS. Let me explain why. So C0. Like I'm gonna go through the buffs that everyone gets on the team and what how the function of this team works. So Frigg's skill, Fimbulwinter, C0 gives your whole team shatter as long as it's a frost weapon. Okay? Frost resonance. You as a person get 15% frost attack by having 2 or more frost weapons. So meaning, if any weapon on your team is not frost attack, it will not get a bonus because obviously it's frost attack. And this is going to be started pointing to more mono element teams, but we'll get more into that later. That's a different point entirely. Now, what other buffs do we get? C1, you do more damage when your domain ends. And if you're curious about how much damage it is, for me, whenever I'm doing a boss in Bygone, it's usually about a quarter of one of the health bars. C2 is HP, C3, C1 does more damage. C4 is attack growth, so a lot more damage. C5, when you shatter shields with Frigg, if it's like a boss monster, it'll do flat damage, flat amount, so frost attack, frosty points, 35%. If it's just a mob and it can be frozen, it'll freeze instead, it won't do damage. No, I'm sorry, it'll do damage and freeze. If it's a boss, it'll do double the damage and it won't freeze. I said that weird. I'm sorry. You can just read it right here. Or you can read it on your account. C6. So this is where you get more frost attack for your team. And then this is where you get more buffs. And this is starting to lead into the point that Frigg is not a main DPS. She is a support. People use her more as a support later on, and they're using her mostly as a main DPS right now. And the move that people are mostly using is this move right here, multi-slash. However, this is I'm kind of beating around the bush, but here's the tragic part. Where is it? Right here. Frigg spin or Meryl spin to win does more damage than Frigg dash attacks. That is the sad truth. And a lot of you might be reading both skills and going, but the number right here is less than the dash attack. Okay, hear me out. So, Meryl, if you use the domain from Frigg, Meryl will also get the shatter. Meryl will also be able to stack frostiness stacks for a domain, because I think you get frosty stacks every time you deal frost damage while the domain's up. So you don't even need to stack it with Frigg. The shatter thing's whatever, because it's just flat damage. And then C6, all your frost weapons get more frost attack. And then Tsubasa is just here to get your C1 stacks, which is 15% more attack. C6 is 25%. But Meryl doesn't buff your team. She shatters. And at C3, she gets a shield when you switch into her. And at C5, while the shield is up, you do 50% more damage. I don't have C5 Meryl, so I can't test it. I think the damage does carry over. However, for me, right now, going side by side with that, like, keep in mind, her dodge attack can deal different amounts of damage. Let me show you. So I can either attack very slow, say I have arthritis, or I'm a phone gamer. I can either attack very slow, or I can attack very fast. How much damage your dash attack do is depending on how good you are. Or like, see, you saw it there for a second. It's hard. Yeah, look. Sometimes if you try to do it too fast, it won't come out. Like right there, it just didn't come out. So as you can see, Frigg's dodge attack is very dependent on your skill. So yeah, you can do more damage with Frigg's dodge attack, or you can just do this and spin to win with CC immunity. Frigg, you will get CC immunity if you get her simulacrum trait. However, I don't have it yet, so I'm just going to go with the information I have now. So, some people, Frigg will do more damage with dash attacking. Like for me, Frigg will do more damage. However, for some people, Meryl spin to win will do more damage. And of course, you only have limited damage to spin to win, so when spin to win's done, you'll go to Frigg. But she's a sub DPS at that point. You kind of get what I'm saying? She's not a main DPS. And in the future, when a certain character comes out, a lot of people who play CN and looked at leaks will know this. Frigg she gets hard put in her place and gets moved to support. Now, keep in mind, numbers might change coming to global. Some people might get nerfed. Frigg did get nerfed, so we don't know. We don't know if it'll change and Frigg turns out to be the main DPS or something. Things could change. However, if you're planning to just dash attack everywhere, then keep that in mind. And Frigg does shine a lot better as a support because you can use her discharge, which does an absurd amount of damage. 618% plus 2k. Meryl discharge does 500%. Tsubasa discharge, which is the total for the whole duration, 570. Frigg's does the most. However, if you're playing Frigg as main DPS, chances are when you get the full charge, you won't have Frigg out to be able to use this. So Frigg's whole kit is very good, but she shines more as a sub DPS or support. Okay, so I really beat the bush or fucking beat the horse, whatever the saying is with this. So it depends on individual, and you'll see that a lot with this Frost comp and most Frost teams is that the whole Frost is high skill cap. Like Nemesis right now, like the two main teams is either Nemesis team with like Samir King or Frost team with Tsubasa, Meryl, Frigg. Frigg is high skill cap, and like that might drive you away. Like Nemesis, you can just put your turrets down, switch off, and just start spinning with Samir in the air or breaking the shield with King. But let me move on, because I don't want to drag this video on too long. So the second point is mono element teams. So first of all, I'll say this now, straight up. If you don't plan on going Frost at all, like you just want Frigg to go cool, look cool, and go ahead. But Frigg, I mentioned this before, gives Frost attack. That only applies to Frost weapons. Like you can see right here, this little right here above my stars where my cursor is, that little ice symbol, first like snowflake, that means it's Frost. The only people that get boost from damage from Frigg are Frost weapons. The only people that get the shatter from C0 domain is right here, Frost weapon. The only people that get Frost resonance is Frost weapons. And you'd be like, okay. If say I'm not pulling for Frigg and I'm just watching the video with watch the videos, and say you're planning to use a whole different team, a whole different element. The thing is this game wants you to go mono element. As you can see, your equipment only has so many rolls to go into stats. And so, high rolling, like rolling 5 times into frost attack and flat attack, like say on a piece that can't roll crit, so we use this one example. Rolling 5 times into either attack, plain attack, or frost attack is a lot better than here. Like, so this is a perfect piece of gear for fire attack, so we'll use that. Say I was using a fire team, rolling 5 times into fire attack or plain attack is a lot better than rolling into multiple elements of attack and having a different element team, because you'll get a lot bigger boost. So let's say I'm using, I'll show it. Let me put on a team that'll probably show this. I think I have an exploration team somewhere. Here we go. We can use this one for example. Where's my fire? Is it the pants? Pretty sure it was the pants, right? Here we go. Right here, it'll show you what's getting the bonus and what's not. So my Coco's not getting the bonus. So say I had a King, Samir, Coco or something. 3 different elements. Volt, fire, and frost. If my pants rolled all into fire attack, the only one who get this 200 bonus is King. The other 2 weapons wouldn't. However, if I had a full fire team, they'd each get this fire bonus. So that'd be a 600 attack bonus overall versus just 200. And keep in mind later on people might do this, but you can have multiple equipment sets. We don't really have the option to set them yet. They might not add it later on. I know they did in CN, but you can have multiple equipments to like switch on and off. But like you wouldn't get the bonus from, let me switch back to my other team, from this frost resonant. So with Nemesis we didn't really see it because Volt doesn't have a Shatterer, so they couldn't really go mono element. But with Frigg, you kind of have to. And this is where we start seeing the mono element teams, and we'll see more for other elements as more characters come out. So do keep that in mind when you're planning your teams and you're looking up leaks and whatnot. I talked about that a little long, so let me move on. Point number 3. And I see a lot of people asking this. I want Frigg, I want to use Frost, but I don't like Tsubasa. I want to use Coco. Here's the thing. And most people, alright, so point 1, or like point within this point, people are not using Tsubasa as main DPS. What they're using her for is this C1 right here. Activate, grant a stack of sharp arrow every time you dodge attack hits a target. Each stack gets 5% damage, stacks up to 3 times. So that's a 15% damage buff on your whole team. And for me, C6, I get up to 5 stacks. So that's 25% damage boost. And like people who don't play Tsubasa will probably be like, "Oh my god, that's so much damage, dude! Like, why don't you just use Tsubasa? Or why do people not like Tsubasa?" It doesn't last very long, and so this is where more of the high skill cap stuff comes in. It is very hard to keep Tsubasa stacked up, because like, I say I stack up Tsubasa, right, and I switch weapons. Then like I can do one like a few moves and then it'll already be like it'll be gone. It'll go away. Let me stack it up. I have 2 stacks, right? So let's say I switch weapons, boom, boom, do some dash attacks. I try to go through my whole stamina cycle, which I did another video on, boom, boom, boom. It'd be almost over and then I'd have to come here and stack. And I'm like, oh, I was late. I dropped all of my stacks and now I have to get them all back. So this is where the high skill cap comes in. Now, I made that look very easy. I'm like, oh, because like I could literally do the whole rotation within the 15 seconds, right? However, some people won't be able to do that. And also, the only reason I was able to do that is because I was literally able to watch it because it was terrible mobs. But in Bygone, or like things like Hard Frontier Clash, I drop stacks all the time. So, with teams like this, your damage will fluctuate a lot. Well, let me go back to the point and like talk about like what a lot of people ask me about. The difference between this, we did this test before I unlocked C6 Tsubasa, back when I still had C1. Difference between running Coco versus C1 Tsubasa, the damage difference was about 5 million. We went into a joint op, the level 50 difficulty one, and I had another Whale guy in my guild come in with a Tsubasa, Coco Meryl's Frigg team, and he had a C6 Frigg, C6 Meryl, C1 Coco, and then I had C4 Tsubasa, C2 Meryl, C6 Frigg, and we tested it, and yeah, same stats, everything. He also didn't have any. He only had 1 piece of frost attack on his equipment like me, and the damage difference was 5 million. Now, keep in mind the difference will be different depending on different people, but like if you're running Frigg and like you're actually like trying for ranking and stuff, this is the team. Like, I'm sorry to say this, but you probably won't be running Coco. And plus, if you need healing, you can shatter with Meryl and you'll heal. So yes, if you don't like Tsubasa, sad thing to say is you will definitely use her, and in this team, the first one to get replaced by new characters is Meryl. So we'll have Tsubasa for a while. On a side note on that, I already covered this, but I'm just like reiterating it. She's just a support, so she's not like a the damage buff matters. However, she's not like the main show of this account. She's just for the buff. I even use this set, this Echo set, which just gives me discharge back when I use her discharge, so I can just stack her up, or discharge, get my stacks up, and then switch off. Okay, so this is the last point, and I already mentioned this as I was talking about the other points. The current Frost team is very high skill cap. Now, it'll get easier when we get other Frost characters, because it'll be easier to manage, and people will have more like this character is definitely main DPS. This character is definitely support. Keep in mind, it might change depending on how the numbers change. I haven't been able to see him. No one's leaked it yet. But it is very high skill cap. Your damage fluctuates a lot. It depends on if you're able to keep your stacks up. If you can keep your buffs up. How well you dodge attack. There's a way you can cancel domain. Let me show you. If you domain, and then dash instantly too fast because you're trying to get in your dash attacks as fast as you can. As you can see, get one on cooldown, domain didn't get put down. And another thing is who you charge with to use your discharge on. That also fluctuates your damage a lot. This team is very high skill cap. Some of you might like that, some of you might not. And I say that because like most other teams, it's like Nemesis. No disrespect to Nemesis players. I'm just saying it's a lot easier because put your turrets down, dodge till your circle's up, and then you go to town with some Mirror King. But yeah, that is it. If you didn't get dissuaded to pull for Frigg from all that, then he's a great character, and I hope you enjoy like I am. If you like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be trying to do more fun videos. I won't be summoning for a while because I'm waiting on a certain character. I won't mention her name, but she has 2 katanas, and just Frost, and a tank, and a Shatter. But if you like the video, like, comment. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please check out my Twitch, twitch.tv/damagggeeeee, and I hope you all have a great day.